How's it going, you guys? Thanks for tuning in for another ride mobbing with Eli. Oh, we got a little pigeon here. Watch out, little buddy. Oh. Alrighty, lots of new stuff to talk about today, so let's get started. Just recently made a big move from the state of Washington to Utah. So I'm actually currently in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I'll be living here for a while. It's kind of an open-ended move. Moved here with a buddy with the intention of preparing for the MCAT and applying to medical school. Just kind of enjoying my gap year before academics kind of take off again. Just graduated from undergrad just a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it's been a nice pace change. Been slowing down a lot, and on the move and stuff kept us busy, but man, I'm not having to study every day and then go to work in the evening, and man, it's been nice. It's been cool just kind of chilling at the apartment with Garrett. Man, it's been an awesome time so far. Really been enjoying it. First thing I want to talk about, you guys know Black Mollasses, my FZ. Probably the only thing that I'm disappointed in with this move so far is Black Mollasses, and that's a huge bummer. You guys know how much I love riding. We got here last Friday evening and loaded the bike. I took it out for a spin Saturday. It was right after I did an oil change. Like, man, the bike just did not feel the same. Felt almost kind of boggy, very sluggish, not very snappy. And so I started to kind of open it up a little bit, and man, guys, I can't hardly get the front wheel up in first gear. Like, it struggles in first gear to get the front wheel up, which is, it's insane. Like, in this bike, I was like, man, what's going on? So I started doing a little bit of reading, and from where I'm at in Washington, we're at sea level, and moving up here to Salt Lake City, we're at about 4,500 feet elevation. So basically there is less oxygen the higher you go. That's something that I've known with like backpacking and running. Like, that's why the Olympic runners, they go up and train at Flagstaff at high elevation, because it's forcing your body to do the same activity with less oxygen. So the same thing goes for motors. Motors have to breathe. Oxygen is required for that combustion. And so for kind of a general rule of thumb, people are saying that for every 1,000 feet elevation gain, you lose about 3% of your power. So 4,500 feet elevation gain from sea level, man, that is what, 13.5% power loss? That's almost 15% power loss just because of altitude. It's ridiculous. So I've already been kind of flirting with the idea of doing a ECU and a tune, take this thing to the dyno, because I've seen several dyno charts of guys getting over 150 horse, clean Porsche, getting over 150 horse on their FC10s. But it wasn't really necessary, because I mean, I had more than enough power and it sounds great and everything, but shoot, I mean, I almost feel like I need to do the yeah, go ahead. I almost feel like I need to do a tune on this thing to try to get it close to the power I had at sea level stock, which is super frustrating. So yeah, I've been dealing with that, and that's kind of a bummer. But besides that, everything else about Salt Lake City has been amazing. The views, we went up, did a little hike last night and watched the sunset. Man, the mountains are just absolutely beautiful. It's a huge blessing that I get to call this place home for a little while. Man, can't wait to get out and do some more hiking. I'd love to get a mountain bike, start doing that. I mean, this is the place to do it. But yeah, so far the transition's been going really well. This road right here is kind of an outlier because it's pretty good, but most of the roads that, or at least in this part of Salt Lake City, are crap. There are potholes everywhere, there's cracks in the pavement everywhere, and It is just, it's awful. So you got to be really careful, especially on a bike. Yeah, another thing that I wanted to do for this video, which I didn't have a ton of stuff to talk about, is I happened across an article a couple weeks ago that the state of Utah just passed a law for lane filtering, and it actually just went into act 2 days ago on Tuesday. Oh no, yesterday. No, it was yesterday. Yeah, Tuesday, May 14th. Today's now the 15th. Lane filtering allows you to basically go in between cars on the road while you're riding a motorcycle. Now it's much more limited than California. In California, there aren't very many limitations. So like you can do it on the highway, you can do it through moving traffic. It's sketch, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, lane splitting in California, I've always felt really sketch about it. I've never done it. I've never ridden in California, but if I did, I would do it very carefully, to say the least. So the difference between lane splitting and lane filtering, which is now legal in Utah, is lane filtering allows you to go in between stopped cars only. So you cannot be going in between cars that are also traveling in the same direction. They have to be stopped at a red light, or if there's like an accident or something. That was another example the article gave. You can go in between the vehicles. A few limitations: you can only go in between the vehicles at a rate of 15 miles an hour. This is already faster. I mean, I'm going 20 right now, so you have to be going slower than a school zone to do lane filtering, just to keep that in perspective. The road that you're going on must have 2 adjacent lanes going the same direction. Basically, it's just two side-by-side lanes that have like a dotted white line in the middle, and so basically the lane filtering would take place on those white lines. The speed limit on the road that you're going through has to be no greater than 45 miles per hour. So say traffic happens to be stopped on the highway, so that's one of the rules, is traffic has to be stopped. Say it's stopped on the highway and the speed limit's 60. Even if it's all stopped, a motorcycle is not legally allowed to lane filter. It has to be on a road where the speed limit is 45 miles an hour or less. I think that's all the rules. 2 adjacent lanes, so kind of like this, where there's a dotted white line, I'd be able to go in between them, basically down the dotted white line. The speed limit has to be 45 or less. Traffic must be stopped, and I can only go through at 15 miles an hour or lower. And then of course, like all the articles say the same thing, like even if the opportunity presents itself, if you don't feel like it's safe to do so, obviously it's to your discretion. I've been riding around for a couple of days. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't even seen any other bikers try lane filtering either. So I thought it'd be kind of a cool opportunity to make a little video. And like I said, the law was just passed yesterday, so I know that drivers are not going to be exposed to this type of riding, and so I'm sure some of them may not be the happiest initially. A lot of different news stations have been trying to kind of prepare drivers so that we can avoid rage wars and more YouTube videos on cars trying to chase down bikers or something for being stupid. So it's perfectly legal to do this. We'll see if I can find a spot and we'll try it. We're gonna be careful. We're not trying to get in any trouble. So this road would be perfect for lane filtering. It's actually 3 lanes wide, so that's plenty wide. Speed limit's definitely 45 or lower. I think it's 30 or 35 through here. I'm not gonna try it up here. It looks like there's a construction zone. We'll probably wait till after that. Like I said, I'm not trying to stir up anything. I'm trying to find a safe environment to give it a shot and try to do it legally and safely. I'm trying to be smart about it. All right, so there's a speed limit sign, 30 miles an hour through here. So it's definitely legal. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me a little bit nervous. So, all right, we got all this traffic at a red light. I think we're about to get a green though, so I'm just gonna wait. I'm trying to be patient. Like I said, I'm not trying to stir up anything. Oh, a little Dalmatian. Oh, that's kind of a cool pup. In the articles that I was reading about with this new law, one of the big advocates of the law, I believe she was riding with, oh, Focus RS, that thing's clean. I believe she was riding with her husband. They were rear-ended by a vehicle because they were stopped at a red light behind a line of cars. And man, they were rear-ended, and she survived, but her husband actually died from that accident. And so she became a big advocate for this law being passed in Utah. And that's what it's all about. It's not about motorcycles trying to be faster than everybody and cut in line, but more so it's about motorcycle safety, not being stuck in the back with a big target on their back. I know when you're in a vehicle, like if you're in a car, that's not a huge deal, you know. Maybe bumpers nowadays will take the impact pretty well and you'll be fine, but on a motorcycle, man, even if it's just a pickup going 15-20 miles an hour, like, you can be seriously hurt. So that's what this law is designed to help motorcycles avoid. It's designed to help them be safe on the road, and yeah, that's all right. So we have a line of 3 cars. We're at a red light. Speed limit is under 45. Everybody's stopped, so I'm gonna go up here in between them. So that's lane filtering. And then once we start going, then I just have to pull off into one of the lanes, kind of assuming the motorcycle would accelerate faster than somebody else. So there's a police officer back behind me now. I don't know, maybe about 8 cars. I saw him back there. So if he does pull me over, I'll talk to him and make sure I'm not missing any of the rules. Yeah, we'll just go from there. Like I said, I'm really not trying to stir up any trouble. So I still use my blinker to let the driver behind me know that I was going to go into the right lane. I'm not trying to just cut over to one of the lanes and make anybody agitated. So that's one of the vehicles that I pulled up next to when I was lane filtering. They didn't roll down their window and yell at me. I mean, they were pretty chill about it. I don't have a clue if they're aware of the new law. That's kind of why I'm doing this, trying to show what it's like to do this only a day after this law was passed. I'm trying to do it carefully, like I said. Alright, so we got a red light up here. We got at least 2 adjacent lanes. We've got speed limit is under 45. All these cars are stopped. But you know, I don't think I'm gonna go because those 2 cars up front are a little bit tight together. I'm not trying to squeeze through there. One of the articles I read actually specifically said if a motorcycle goes between a couple of cars and happens to hit a mirror off on accident, like, just because it's legal to go between them doesn't mean it's not the motorcyclist's fault. It's 100% the motorcyclist's fault if they're going between cars like that and they hit a mirror. So you should be able to gauge the width of your bike a little bit better than that. Alright, so up here, I don't know if it'll be worth going between them. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and sneak up between them here. So I never read anything in the articles like, I don't think I need to come to a stop behind the vehicles and then start again to go between them. I'm pretty sure I just have to slow down to under 15 miles an hour to go between them. It wouldn't really make sense that I'd have to stop and then go again. Use my blinker again to go over to the right. I'll go ahead and go over to the left here. So far, at least I haven't heard anybody yelling at me or anything, so I think we've been fine so far. Oh, jeez. I don't know if the camera picked that up or not, but there's a little pigeon that got almost within arm's reach of me there. Look at all these nice bicycle lanes. So this street would definitely not be legal. So if you know the answer, I'll give you a second. Ding, 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 ding. That's correct. There's only one lane. So I cannot go up along the curb in a line of cars to cut up front. There has to be two adjacent lanes. So I would not be able to lane filter on this road. Basically the same thing. Oh, we got ourselves a Hellcat right there. Nasty. Okay, so we got ourselves a stoplight. We've got at least two adjacent lanes. I see a speed limit sign up there that says 40. The vehicles I'm coming up to are stopped. So we're gonna squeeze through here. That was a perfectly legal lane filtering. I wasn't watching my speed when I went through there, but it was slow. And man, that right there is a huge part of why I moved to Salt Lake City. I just look at those mountains. This is literally 3 minutes from my apartment. You can see those mountains from my little recliner in our living room. It's just absolutely beautiful. So there's a pretty good line of traffic backed up here. I want to make sure that they are all stopped. So the sideways traffic is going. So I'm going to try to kind of sneak up between them. So I'm going 10 miles an hour right now. And I didn't want to keep going up between there because traffic started moving, and you're not supposed to filter between moving cars. That's when it turns into lane splitting. So I went ahead and cut over. There's enough room there. I can see where that could get kind of sticky. It's kind of up to drivers to allow me to move into one of either the right or left lane. So I don't know if I'm explaining the dilemma there very well, but if I'm starting to filter through and traffic starts to move, I mean, I believe I just need to pull into one of the lanes rather than going all the way to the front. If I don't have enough time to go all the way to the front. So I don't know if that makes sense. I do like that I'm not obligated to sit in the back and wait for a car to come up behind me and park. Hey, is that an FZ09? FJ? What was that? Feast Versus? Oh, it's Kawasaki Versus. Very cool. I think they make those in like a 650 and then a 1000 even. Whee! Like I said, I've said it several times during this video. I'm not trying to stir anything up. Just want to make sure that I'm following the rules and maybe give some other Utah riders kind of perspective on what it's like to lane filter, when they can lane filter, and how they should do it safely. Celebrity Park, they have a cool little running trail that goes around there. Pretty similar to Priest Trail down in Eugene, Oregon. Lived there for a couple of years. Oh, that's an Aprilia Tuono. Holy balls. I've never seen one in person. That's a legit bike. That's like the big boy version of my bike. That is sick. It's a beautiful bike though. Wow. I have never seen an Aprilia Tuono in person. That is sick. I've never seen the yellow color scheme either, actually. I didn't even know they made the yellow color scheme. I've seen they have like a gray, red, black, similar to like their RSV4 color scheme. That's pretty sick. But I've never seen the yellow. It's kind of tight. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the day, you guys. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. The next several videos, kind of indefinitely, are gonna be from Salt Lake City, Utah. So let me know if you guys want to see some cool mountain highways, or probably do a ride up to Park City, Utah, go over the salt flats. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, you guys stay tuned, and yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.